I want this to be a learning experience, and it's a small group. So please ask questions if you can. Turn on your Zooms. It's always nice to look at faces instead of blank screens. But this is how I've grown my business throughout the course of the years. And I have my wife and business partner on here, Megan. Megan, say hi, please. Waving doesn't help.
Hi, everybody.
So this is based around our database and how most of our business comes from database. I've tested other things out and it just wasn't for me. It's all about what's in the magical phone that we all hold. So throughout the whole thing, please ask questions. Let's get into this. I think we have an hour. I probably have 2 hours prepared and we can talk about it forever. All right. So everyone, welcome. My name is Kevin Toll. I am the principal owner of the Kevin Toll Group. As of now, I'm out of production, right? Unless it's for my own investments. Otherwise, all the stats in the later years are from my team. We have a residential division and a luxury division because we list and go after some high-end business. Oh, let me do that. All right, little course overview, just to intro myself, stats for myself and my team. And then, I've always learned when I was in Tom Ferry coaching that there's three main sources of business, and most of it comes from my database. And then what you say matters. My coach now, Greg Zuber, hopefully everyone here has a coach, talks to them, but my coach always talks about messaging. And at the end of it's a takeaway. If you haven't started working their database, we're going to have a simple plan for everyone to work. All right. Again, my name's Kevin Toll. I'm the founder of my team, the Toll Group. We've switched from the Kevin Toll to the Toll Group to make it more not personalized around me since I'm not in production. I am one of the owners of Category Power, One Team Mattress Insurance. I'm a part owner of a mattress store and a couple other business ventures out there. In my former life, I was a CPA, which is certified public accountant. I love stats and numbers. It makes my wife sick, but I look at everything and then really tracking your numbers is tracking your business. And if anything you get from this, one of the things is track your numbers as much as you can. How much you're prospecting, how much you're into this, and how much you're going forward. I love to be an entrepreneur. I love business and going into it. I went to school for accounting for business purposes. They didn't have any business entrepreneur. I am a coach. I was a real estate coach for Bill Pipes and Tom Ferry organization. I had a coach through Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, Bill Pipes, and I have a MAPS coach now. I firmly believe everyone here should have a coach. I don't care if it's someone in the office, myself, or anyone else, but it helps you look at your business differently when you're in the weeds of looking at it, right? And then I graduated from LaSalle University in 2000 in accounting. All right. I gotta skip a step. No. I'm gonna go this one first. I tell everyone now, I am a family man. My family's everything. Everyone needs a why they're in real estate, and here it is below in the bottom links. My daughter, my sons, and everything we do, right? I like to hike. I like to fish. I like to be a sideline parent yelling at my son in soccer. All the fun stuff that you do as a parent. We like to travel when we can. And of course, I'm a huge Philadelphia sports fans, right? So just that's a quick thing about me, right? And then Megan is my business partner. So love her or hate it, we get to work together every day. But at the same time, we're growing a family business together. Oh, going the wrong way. I like to talk about stats because I've tracked everything through years and I've summarized this. Like I have spreadsheets and spreadsheets and spreadsheets of stuff that shows all the numbers of everything we've ever done, right? Tracking it down to sometimes too much. Like there's too much data that I had to like start compiling it together a little bit. Year to date, when I got in the business, my first sale was May of '09 to now. My team has done over 1,800 transactions. Last year we did 240 sales. There's about 15 or 20 rentals in there, around 74 million in sales. We average from sales from investors from 15,000 up to 2 million, right? Like we're not going to pass up in the business. We're going to build relationships as much as we can. And I have a 12-member active team, right? Just affiliations that come with that. My team's in the top 100 for KW Mastermind. We've been at Real Trends. We're ranked nationally in the top 1000s. We're always in the Philadelphia Magazine, in the Mainline, all those kind of awards that you get. We're part of NAR and Tri-County. Some of you are probably part of GPAR. All right. The biggest thing I think I learned early on was tracking your stats of everything you do, right? And you should have three major lead sources, right? That's where most of your business is going to come. So when I start showing my team stats throughout the years, all of them, I had to go back far, is three of my major lead sources give me the most amount of my business, right? But if you look at here, lead sources and categories, there's database, excuse me. And I have a sphere of influence, but I also include it in the stats later on, like the referrals from sphere of influence, right? Like the top. I have down to like 500 people that I talk to on a regular basis. I have past clients and past clients referrals. I have agent referrals. I get a lot of agent referrals. This year is really heavy agent referrals, right? People getting out of the business giving me referrals. Vendor referrals as well. And then other lead sources that I've had in the past, assign calls, texting calls, social media advertisements that you have out there, or just like posts that come to you, open houses, expires, internet leads, and then mailers. Last 2 years ago, I started mailers for my investment properties, but it always leads to actually listings. And we track everything we can, right? So use a CRM system, whatever you're using, track everything you can in your database, have it all saved forever. If you switch his database, save it, right? I had a call the other day from actually a vendor referral. I talked to the person back in 2015. They're still in the same house, right? They didn't use me to buy it, but they're looking about selling the house. So it's always good to have that. I can also send these slides to everyone in case you're writing it down. I see someone writing it down. In case if not, if you have any questions, please let me know. All right, I'm going to go through my stats. I'm not going to harp on it. If you have questions throughout the years of it, please let me know. I got licensed at the end of 2007. I don't know if anyone knows here, but the market crashed in May of 2007 hard. I walked into an office. There's literally one person in there, and I was the manager. And I was like, "Is this real estate?" And he goes, "No, the market crashed a couple months ago." I was had a painting business and two other businesses that I was closing up. So 2008, I spent the most of the year just shutting it down, not knowing I'm doing real estate. I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. 2009, I decided I was driving with Meg right there and driving out of the Phillies game. Phillies are actually on the World Series those couple years, and I was like, I'm going to do this full time. And I just decided, like on the spot, driving down, talking to someone. So my first sale was 2009. It settled in June, around May, June, and I actually did 7 units the rest of that year, right? Uh, you can see here, it's all SOI/database. It was all just people I knew. I was getting into it. There was none of this, all this automated messages, all that kind of stuff. I just started talking to people. I picked up this magical phone that we all have, which was a flip phone back then, right? And just started talking to people saying, I'm in this business. Do you want me to help you? And to be honest, that seven could have been 20, but at the time, no one trusted me because I was brand new in the business, right? And I had to go earn their trust. It probably took 5 years. So jump a year to 2010. All I did is hustle. I had other jobs as well, but I did it. I sold 18 units that year. Right, I was number three in the office. All of a sudden, 18 units was a lot. People said I was working too hard, but you can see that I got agent referrals. Manager, because I was in the office every day, was giving me some stuff that they didn't want to deal with, and then the rest of the people I knew. Right, and you can see how it started off listings and buyers, and you'll see it as it grows as I went more listing heavy. Listing agents last, I started trying to pursue that, but I also took the buyers, but I didn't get it. Right, and you can see from the beginning slide, I'll go back to it. Oh, I missed it. Not go with this. Right here, database is SOI, past clients, agent referrals, and vendor, in my opinion. Everyone classifies it differently, but I'm gonna show you year after year what my database did. Right here in 2018, again, 100% database. Uh, 2011, 25 units, slowly increasing. Got listing, had buyers, ran around a lot. 9% was people I knew. And then agent referrals, 100% was database. And I kind of broke it up more where you can kind of see more of a detailed list because I started getting other lead sources in there. 2012, I had a flat year. Very interesting how it works. Some years you do greater, some years you don't do as much. But again, 2012, I did 25 units as a solo agent, and 92% of it was a database. 2013, I went to 40 units. I started getting really busy, all the prospecting and following up and all the stuff I was setting up in my database plan was starting to work. I did 40 units. I had a showing agent, right? And an assistant, same person, it's the same thing, licensed. And I ended up going to 40 units, right? That made me in the top three in the Devon office that I was part of at the time. A lot of past clients, a lot of past client referrals, SOI going on, agent referrals. And then you can see the other stuff, sign calls, open houses, expires, internet, everything you talked about kind of added more units into my volume. 2014, I kept growing and I was convinced to open up my first office by my manager. Right. So right there, we had 56 units. I had a full-time assistant and a full-time teammate because I was doing 56 units and I was running around. I opened up my first office in Havertown where I grew up and started recruiting. You can see how that year was 71% database, which was SOI, past clients, agent referrals, and vendors, right? You can see that I did other stuff as well. I sat at my open houses. I did expired calls. It was, huge expires back then, which is, I think, coming up too. Some internet leads. I was trying to dabble in that. Never really took off. Sign calls. 2015, running around a lot. 64 units as a solo agent. What's up, John? Uh, 64 agents as a solo agent, right? Had a teammate then. Again, 73% was database. We just worked everything we knew. 2016, 90 units, kept increasing. You can see now my listings are heavy. I'm going on 150 listing appointments a year, capturing about a third of them, and still have a lot of people in the pipeline who have never sold their house. We've kept track, Megan and I have kept track of every listing appointment I've ever been on, and if they're selling or not, and why not, right? Most of the people have not sold. They started experimenting. I think I want to sell. Stuff goes on in life. They don't move on, right? You just stay in front of them. We call them 2 or 3 times a year, Meg, that we call any listing appointment. Well, that I didn't see what you did, but
2 to 3 times a year and follow up with them with market watches and everything too.
we have them CMA, we have them on market watches, we have them like stuff going around the house. Most of the people that we went on listing appointments with have not sold. Whatever reasons it is, they start experimenting. We go out and set an appointment, meet them, keep going on. But you can see here, 78% of my business came from my database. This is all people working it. You can go look at sign calls and texting. And I say texting because there's texting riders that go on your signs. A lot of people started texting back then. That's when it started. I used to get a lot of texting calls, and I would go out and list their properties, open houses, expires, internet leads. 17 is when I started really trying to grow the team. Meg got her license and got it full time. She left her other job. We had kids and life going on. We did 110 units. There's probably about 10 rentals out of that. Most of it is really listings and buyers. Again, 80% of it is database. I'm not going to harp on these stats too much. 2018, I actually opened up a second office down in Cape May County with a business partner. And that's when I was actually recruited to come to Keller Williams, right, and launch another office. But right here, you can see we did 220 units. Again, only 10 of them are rentals, and 75% of that is roughly our database. And then again, you can see down here, internet leads are becoming a big thing. They're cheaper. People were more active. The market was going up. It was easier to use them and go forward. And you probably had a 10% capture rate. Now it's probably 1%. 2019, I joined Keller Williams, right? And at this point, I was launching the office and a Contra Hawken office and actually trying to run the team and be in production. This is the last year I was in production. I had to step back. You can't do both. You can't do everything at once, right? So I had 125 units, 81 listings, 44 buyers, right? 74% of it was a database. You can see just the stats on there. And SOI, huge. Past clients and past client referrals, huge. A lot of agent referrals over the time with Long and Foster and networking to these events that you go to. People don't know anyone up in this region, and we take the leads, right? Like this last week, I got 3 alone. A lot of agent referrals. So when you're going out there networking, it's not just regional. It's like when you go outside of your area, right? You're going to start getting more and more business. And we kept in front of them. We have a newsletter. We'll talk about that in a little bit. 2020, during COVID, I launched the market center, right? My team was still moving forward and growing. I had 150 units. 59 million of sales, almost 100 listings, and over 50 buyers, right? You can see the stats. A lot of internet leads then. A lot of people are clicking and moving forward. And sign calls and everything else. 21, the team was growing now. We did 230 units, 69 million. Again, my whole team, we track the database, we track the stats for the whole team, right? Every single time someone settles, we find out where it's coming from. 82% of it. So as my team was growing, database was even increasing more. We did have internet leads, And this was probably one of the last years that we're doing that. The internet leads in 22, and we actually dropped all internet leads because we just realized our value is much more in just working with people we know in our own database. In 22, again, my team grew more. We had a great referral source that was giving us a whole bunch of business, agent referral, and we did 283 units. There was a lot of investor units in there, and we did almost 80 million that year, right? A lot of running around, and 85% of our business was in database, right? People we know. 241 units was in database. So that's a lot. Just realize that's how much business was there and the team growth, and we just saw everything going on from there. And 22 was probably the last year that we did internet leads. It started shrinking from there. We were paying for it, but the value wasn't there. Every time we ran the numbers and looked at it, and people on my team didn't like that. So we decided in this year to start focusing more in database and stuff we do besides the mailers where I do for investments. So in 22, we realized we did a lot of units, but a lot of them were lower value and a lot of investors, and it was a lot of running around, and the value wasn't there for us. So we decided to put energy more in a database and focus what we're doing. Our database went to 91%. Our units went down, our volume went down slightly, but we freed up so much more time. And you can see our internet leads went down to 2. We decided to cut it to 22 because it wasn't there. We weren't making the money. No one was motivated to work it. So you can see how SOI, past referrals and clients, agent referrals is huge. There's 31 that we get from it, right? Vendor referrals, and then mailers. So I started doing mailers to actually start increasing the units I'm buying, and to be honest, we get listings from it. And then this year, oh no, sorry, last year, sorry, I'm skipping a year. Uh, we repeated our production. Our database went up 92%, but our time became so much more free. As we grow into our database, our time's becoming free because you're having easier conversations, not convincing new people to move forward. So you can just see the stats, and you can see down the bottom, the mailers are growing year to year for me because it's past people calling and connections, but I'm buying a lot of investment properties from it. But you can see how our whole database plan is now up to 92%. This year, we're slightly, actually, it says that we're going to repeat. We're slightly above where we were last year. We've shrunken the team down to just people. That's the 12 that are producing, right? And we're doing more volume with that. So again, we're only at 88% right now, but if we actually think what's going to sell throughout the course of the year, we'll hit like around 90% of our business coming from just our database, what's exactly in our phone. And you can see the other sign calls have been down a lot, a couple open houses, and then again, mailers that we're looking at, we're getting them mostly from investment properties that we're trying to buy, multi-unit singles, all that kind of stuff. So, or any questions on the stats? I don't like to bore people too much with that kind of stuff, but I want to show you the history of what we do. So this is our database plan, and we keep it simple. Like we're not making this complicated. People try to get really, really cute with it all, and we've tested stuff throughout the years. We send everyone mailers here or there. We do that to a point, but we keep it very simple. And the people are telling us now, like we're asking them promptly, how do you want us to communicate with you? And we're putting it in our CRM system. But I started off with newsletters, right? My first newsletter, I think Meg remembers this. It was like literally Kevin told real estate, a half a page of nonsense. I didn't know what I was doing. I hit send, right? And it was like 4 sentences, but it's grown. Now it's like 2 pages. It looks nice. People follow our dog's life and our kids' lives. And that's what they care about. And everyone that's on the call should realize these newsletters on the back end, you can see who opens it. When it gets opened, you should be reaching out to them or just realize it. People say, "Hey, don't worry about it. I'm following you when I need you." That's what you need to hear from anyone, right? As long as no one else gets involved. But so newsletter was the first easiest thing that I implemented, right? It should be what everyone on this call should be doing. If you're not doing it, please today go do it, right? The second thing we do is we do quarterly calls. We are checking in with everybody literally 4 times a year. So sometimes we can't get them. We're texting them, right? They want to be texting, but we're tracking it. All calls go into the database. It's a D2, right? So Meg is on the call because she makes a lot of these calls as well because she's my partner in this, and we just call like per the letters per week. Meg, what letters are you on right now?
Believe I am on C and K.
Does
Or
anyone know? Does
no,
anyone know
I'm
what
doing
this
F and
is?
G right now.
What did you say?
F and G right now.
Meg, you want to explain what the theory and the process is around the quarterly calls?
Yeah, so the DTD2, if anybody has ever taken bold, probably recognizes what DTD2 is. Early on, when I had a MAPS coach, when I was getting into everything and focused, I was speaking with someone specifically about how to nurture our database and create those conversations and needed to have guidance of where to start. Right. I didn't want to just throw a dart in the dark. And they were like, well, you have to do the daily too, which is breaking up your database into two letters. So everything is broken up with all of the last names. You've got A and W, B and E, C and K, D and O, F and G, and so on and so forth. So it's broken up into 13 different groups. There's 13 weeks in a quarter. So I follow, and it's in my calendar that I use for work. So I know which ones I'm broken up into. Our entire database is tagged by their letter as well too. So I can just go in and search right now. I have it based upon all of our METs. So there are MET F and G. I search that tag, I pull it up, and I go through those phone calls this week. I call them once, and then I send them a text message, call them a second time this week. Hey, it's okay if you don't need me. I just want to let you know, like Kevin and I are here if you have any questions, if I'm leaving a voicemail, or if there's anything that's important for us to be giving them information about. And then just tell them, I'll call you in a couple months unless you need something beforehand. I'll tell you 90% of the time people don't pick up, but they call us when they need us, or they send a text message when they need us. With also those daily calls, and I follow those letters, is that's typically how I'm also, if somebody says they want to be reached out by social media, I'll message them on Facebook or send them something like on Instagram if that's their preferred method of communication. But having the database tagged by the letters, it makes it simple and I don't have to guess who to reach out to. The hardest thing to do is to make sure that I tag them if I'm adding someone new into the database. So there's no going backwards looking for anything. So I can just, again, search by the lead. I know who to call. I track who I'm calling and I know what that conversation is going to be because I have all the notes also in our database already logged. So if I'm calling Sally Friend, and last time we spoke about her new puppy that she just got, I can ask her about how her dog's doing. You know, did she finally housebreak the dog and what's going on? So using the database to input the information that's important because I want to talk to them what they want to talk about, but the daily too helps me know who to talk to.
Yeah, it's not always about talking about real estate and the fact that it takes like 18 times so they realize you're in real estate, right? That's why newsletters are important. It's really just touching base of what they want to talk about. So when you're making these calls, it's not about, hey, like we do it once a year saying, hey, we're looking for business, always think about us because you want that ingrained in their head. But after that, it's really what they want to talk about. Everyone wants to talk about something different. We have that note. We check in with that. We move forward. Be honest, I'll say 90% of the people do not answer the phone. They'll send us a text. Great for hearing from you. We'll call you when we need you, or if we have questions. And we do get questions. We get contractor questions. We get lawyer questions. We get title questions. We get title deed questions. I mean, it goes on forever, right? And you have an accountant, all that kind of stuff. It never ends with the questions we have because we want them to think of us. And we'll say, hey, here's a recommendation to do what you can with it, right? Depending where it is. So it's just really about top of mind, right? So they think of you when something's going on. And then even when we're introduced to someone new, if they really are interested, the average turnaround rate could be 15 to 18 months, right? So it's not an immediate thing. So like Anna's not on this call. She was running our team meeting right now, but she says Meg's the queen of follow up, right? Because we know for a fact we listed a home this year 4 years ago, the guy said he wanted to sell it, and life happens. That's the best I can say. And then 4 years later, we're just checking in. We're not circling them like hawks. We're not on top of them. We just check in here or there, and sometimes we space it every 6 months, and then they're eventually like, "Yeah, I'm glad you called. I've been waiting for this." I mean, we get that a lot. We're waiting for, we need to do something to start talking and planning it. And then I think we have like 30, 40 in the pipeline for next year already, right? Like just because real estate transactions are long, right? Everybody wants a quick one, and probably we had a call last 2 weeks ago, and we listed in a week and sold in a week. That's probably one of the quickest ones we've had in years, right? That person's like, I need to move to Puerto Rico. We're like, okay, but like otherwise, it doesn't happen like that. For the most part, for us at least. We're not buying internet leads that they're hot to try, and we're trying to convince them to use us. They know who we are. They're happy to sign our our uh, our agency agreements, and they're happy to pay us what we want and moving it forward. So it's just something to think about that this is a top of mind. Your messaging matters, your marketing matters, right? So again, everyone, and just let everyone know, we do this with vendors and we do this with realtors that are out of the area. We're not going to call John Hazlett's on my team here and he's here. I'm not going to call John and be like, hey, who do you want to give me as a referral, right? We don't do that respectfully, but anyone that's could be middle of Delaware, right? And Poconos that we're friends with, they're on their own newsletter. So realtors have their own newsletter that goes out. I mean, we're trying to say we're here for you if you need a referral here or vice versa. So every time we have someone go, like, I'm looking for a referral, like we get a lot of Florida people. I want to go to Florida. We go through our database first and ask them, are you close enough to handle this correctly? Right. And I mean, half the time it's thanks for thinking about me because it's a back and forth relationship. So it's just being very top of mind of what's going on. Uh, Back to database play is again, we try to do birthday calls and text messages, right, at the same time. We try to send text messages around holiday times and New Year's and all the holidays, back to school and Thanksgiving. Uh, and then we send mailers out, especially the one I like the most is Happy New Year. We don't send anything around the holidays time. Starting October to like January, December 31st. It's kind of crazy, a lot of mails going around. We want us to be recognized, so we send them out January 15th. We said Happy New Year's, January 15th. We get calls all the time for January 15th to the 30th when they hit their mailboxes. Hey, thanks. We're one of the few people that do that, right? That I know of. A lot of companies don't do it either. It gets really lost in the shuffle during that last quarter of the year with a lot of stuff go. So I like that. The Happy New Year cards. We send out birthday cards, handwritten. We send out home anniversary cards, handwritten as well, just so they, it's a nice little card coming to them the best we can. We also just put everyone in our CRM, right? They're all in drips. All that kind of automation's great, but it only goes so far. Our CRM system actually shows us when they go on the site and clicking around, so we can call them and say, "Hey, is something all right or going on, or do you need help?" But we also have like little monthly market watches for them. So if they bought a house for us or they're living in a house and thinking about moving, right? The cycle goes up and down. If they're thinking about moving, they're just watching what's going on. So they see our names and our faces, and it's pretty simple. We're not making this complicated. We just want them to think of us when the time comes if they're going to buy or sell or they have a friend doing it, right? Any questions around that? No.
What
Awesome.
what CRM do you use?
I'll tell everyone to use Command if they're not going to pay for anything because it's already there, but we use Sierra Interactive.
Okay.
So Sierra Interactive, you have to build it out to a point. Comes with a website that we have, and then we get some SEO business from it. But it's a website that you build out all your plans, so then it has automated stuff. You can put tags to it and track it all. And we went from Boomtown years ago to this. So sometimes when someone calls in, we can scroll through literally, I don't know, 8 to 15 years of data, right? And so like we'll scroll through and make sure, what kind of conversation you had in the past, what it was about. There's many times that you talk to someone that did nothing and then they call you back, or you randomly fall into them again, right? And you're calling them. And so we try to go through a whole database marketing to it with newsletters and everything else, but the people SOIs were really intent what's going on. But use any CRM system, right? Are you using one right now? You muted yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I'm using Command. Yeah.
Perfect. JP was in and out of the room. I know he's a master at it.
Yeah.
You don't have to don't make it complicated, right? Just use it for notes and moving it forward and check-ins and hook it up to a calendar. Make sure your calendar's not totally booked with all the calls. I try to keep my calendar open just for like the major stuff, and then the CRM systems like my prospecting follow-up kind of uh system that I use, right? But it's important because over time, when you're in the business, I'm approaching 20 years to be honest. You forget about people, you don't do the right things. Like no one's perfect at this, but if you keep it going forward and they're on some kind of drip, a lot of people call you back. I mean, we just sold a house in Havertown. The guy refused to answer any phone calls, text messages, anything. And then he called us up and he goes, "Hey, I'm ready to sell my house." And we're like, "We didn't know you're moving." But he's like, "Oh, I would never but call you back," right? Because we helped him in the beginning. So it's very important. He saw our name forever. So any other questions before I move forward? No? All right.
Thank you for sharing that info.
Yeah, anything. So, I always like to have these conversations as a takeaway, so in case anyone's on this that's actually not Abdullah, but hey,
Hey, Kevin.
uh, I always want to have everyone have takeaways. If you're not actually working your database here, who is here? A lot of people are not, but anyone that's actually showing their faces, who's working their database? Raise your hand. I saw kind of scared hands putting up, right? Meg, you're not working your database. So I'm just going to give you little takeaways of what I think, something simple. I constantly listen to other people's podcasts and do it. So you ever hear KISS, keep it simple, stupid? Everyone makes it very, very complicated, right? Everyone should go down right now, right? And write down anyone you've had a good connection with, right? Or update it. We get very lost. We get in the business and you have like, say, 100 people. And then 5 years later in the business, 2 years later, you don't update it. And that person's not talking to you no more, or they don't like you, or another person in their family got their business and you're not trying to steal it. You got to update your stuff. So you have to make sure you're doing it properly, right? Make sure you have a CRM system or a spreadsheet, right? And then include what's important in the connection. What are you going to talk about? Everyone's always worried about calling their database and people they know and saying, "I'm asking for business." Like, don't beg for business. Just talk to them and let them know you're in the business, right? People don't buy and sell homes unless they're investors every single day, right? It could be a 3, 5, 7, 10 year transaction. Could be dependent on, babies, marriage, death, whatever's going on in their life, right? And that's just the truth, right? So like write down what's important in that connection. So that's step one is go through your phone, go through your social media, who you can actually have a conversation with. And listen, sometimes just hitting your database is their social media, right? At this point, sending DMs is fine as long as they go back and forth. You're gonna tag everyone and rank them all, right? You're gonna have past clients, SOI, current clients, people that may be a one-off that you want to connect with, right? Sometimes I have that, so I'm trying to learn about something. Uh, and then you're gonna rank them A, B, C, or D. Refer clients more than once a year. Refer one client hasn't but would, not going to, just because didn't want to talk to them, right? Like make sure you have that ranked. Rank your people. Like if they're not going to give you a referral, don't really want to talk to you, why are you even pretending that you're going to call them, right? And that's one thing I get is like, people on my team will have 500 connections and 200 of them they don't want to talk to. I'm like, then save their information and don't do it, but don't be scared not to pick up the phone and start this process moving forward, right? And I didn't make this up. I stole this from someone. Just let everyone know, right? This is not my magical stuff. This is kind of stuff I follow though. And just follow the five, the daily five, right? It's called the 2111, right? Reach out to 5 people to know, text, call, voicemail note, all the A level. The A level again is people that refer you more than one client in a year, right? How many people here are doing more than 24 deals? I mean, what is your goal, right? So you want to touch those people that are actually thinking about you referring it, right? Take them to lunch. Uh, you have to rotate through everyone quarterly, as Meg was talking about before. You can't call the same person every week. You're going to annoy them unless they're your friend, right? But bullshitting with someone for an hour and a half is not actually asking for referrals, right? Or getting business, right? They're your friend, right? There's a business conversation, there's a friend conversation, and there's asking for referrals. Uh, you know, this should be easy for you. Everyone's social media now, like the 15,000 platforms out there, or however you're communicating, it should be pretty easy. So get on social medias, 20 minutes a day on social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you use, right? Don't talk about real estate, post stuff, post polls, right? Just post anything, right? They just need to see activity because everyone knows only a certain amount of people come through your feeds, right? So if you want to try to get business from somebody and you just have the same people go in your feed over and over again, you have to make comments on their feed as well or someone else. So like I have probably almost 5,000 people on Facebook. It doesn't pop up. And I have good friends that I don't see ever. I have to go in there and make a comment on their stuff. So it comes along my feed just so I can see what's happening in their lives, right? Because I have my own life with 3 kids. I don't get to meet up with my buddy who has 5 kids, right? That's doing something else. It's almost impossible, right? We don't get to talk to each other, but like maybe once a quarter. But I have to make a comment on their kids' stuff so it pops up so I can see that they're playing football or whatever they're doing, right? You should do one handwritten note a day. That will go farther than you ever think, right? Just simple one handwritten note, right? Try to have a meeting a day, especially with your A clients, right? If these people are referring you 2, 3, 4 clients, take them to lunch. They just gave you probably a quarter of your business. It's better to meet over Zoom, right? Like this was supposed to be in person. There probably would have been like 50 people in the room. Right now, there's 20 on this call. So everyone's zoomed out in life. Try to meet them in person. Step 4 is simple enough. Is track and repeat. Do this for a month straight. Do it on the weekends. You can spend 20 minutes on a weekend. Don't tell me you're too busy, right? Just keep doing the same thing over and over again, month on month. That's all Meg and I do. We're not doing anything special. Sometimes it's a little boring, but you're doing the same thing, having the same conversation, and work on your skills, right? And moving forward. You have to do this, and that's how we build our database. It's very simple, right? Just key takeaways, in my opinion, would be keep it simple, stupid. Make your database about relationships. It's really about the relationship that you're building with the person, that they remember that you do this, and be honest and help them, right? The problem is some agents get in the business and just trying to make a buck over actually trying to give knowledge to your client, right? Uh, don't make anything too polluted, right? Don't make it complicated. Most agents fail because they're trying to do too much. Start one thing and work on it, right? I know some people have been in the room with me before. I'm like, try to increase it 1% a day. That's literally all I can ask for is try to slowly make it better. Like I'm telling you, from my first newsletter to now, night and day, right? One thing I talked about my coach a lot is messaging matters. Right here, that whole thing, right? It really matters. Like focus a conversation about them, their family. Don't talk about yourself. No one cares about how many sales you have. No real estate agent wants to hear that, right? No one cares that you have 50 sales in a year. Doesn't mean they're going to use you, right? Talk about them. They care about themselves, right? Talk about their family. But the messaging matters. So right now, well, Meg and I have been doing for the last year, because I've talked to my coach about this, we're trying to get relevant information. Like we don't have birthdays. So we're like, hey, I don't have your birthday in my system. Let me know, right? We don't know when they're actually thinking about moving. Whoever here has a buyer and you're going to settlement tomorrow, you should turn to them as soon as you hand them the keys after settlement and go, when do you think you're going to sell the house? Has anyone ever done that? Do you know why we try to do that? Anyone? If they said they're going to sell their house in 7 years, we know exactly when they're thinking about moving. So at year 3, we can start saying, you told me you're going to move in 7 years. Do you want to start planning it now so your house is ready when you think you're going to do it? We have conversations to talk to them about. Well, we try to get that information now. We have people tell us 10 years, 3 years. We put it in our database. And again, Meg listed a house that was 4 years later, said, hey, you're thinking about doing this. Is that still the plan? We keep asking them, is this the plan that you want to do this? And they say, yes, no, whatever happened. And we know more information and we keep moving it forward. We're not trying to force them to sell. We're just getting relevant information that we need to know to help them do this. That's all. It's not a race about getting data anymore. It's a race about actually knowing what they want to do, right? That's why if everyone in their phones and they're looking up a trip to Italy, right? 1,000 things pop up. That's relevant information, right? And I would just say commit to this, commit for 30 days. Don't just say, hey, checking in. Nobody wants to hear that, right? Usually that's something else going on. Someone's fishing for something else. It's real estate's about relationships. The longer you're in this, the more it's going to happen. You want to grow to a certain extent, go for it. I know agents that only make money off of referrals from other agents in the country. They're not even prospecting their own area. Oh, I don't know how to get rid of that line. That line's going to stay.
Mhm.
Uh, and there's our information. If you need it, always be able to reach out and talk to us if you need anything. I'm going to stop sharing. Any questions about anything we just went over? Yeah,
What
Brian.
I know. Sorry, my video was off. I'm kind of kids in the background stuff. I know not everything you do is email oriented. What do you do? I'm always curious. What do you do with unsubscribes?
Move on.
Move on. Do you keep them and
Move right
you
along.
still call them and do other things, but just let them unsubscribe?
So some people unsubscribe, they have no idea what they're doing, right? So if you know somebody and they unsubscribe, you call them up, hey, did you mean to do this? But there's some people that only seriously, because they're like, I don't, they start hitting buttons, they get subscribed from like
Well, there's
CRM.
software. There's software on browsers that'll automatically unsubscribe you too. I know people have told me like, hey, not personal.
Yeah, you could check in. Why'd you do this? Am I annoying you? Am I contacting you too frequently? All that kind of stuff. You can just see what it is, see if it's true or they're just annoyed, right? They could be pissed off that day. Uh, right. Someone said it could be a reason to reach out. But listen, there's so much out there. If someone unsubscribes, you just kind of move on. Like if they unsubscribe, say my newsletters, because that's one platform, and I still have them CRM system, fine. But our CRM will let them unsubscribe from a text, email, all differently. So I
Right.
don't harp on it. But if they don't want to talk to you and do business with you, then you're not going to get the business anyway. So
Sure.
keep moving on, move forward, right? You can't, don't look past.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Someone said, "How did I start with mailers?" And it had so very long story with mailers, but I guess so. There's the golden letter out there, right? That people send to people they know or their farming areas. Because when COVID hit, everyone was hitting like golden letters out because you couldn't like door knock and do all the kind of stuff that they were doing before. So there's a golden letter out there that basically says I have buyers looking at area or I want to buy your house, right? But that was just farming for areas. I got into like I buy rental properties, right? I'm trying to get up to a couple hundred doors in my life. So I'm with a company that actually sends out letters to tired landlords. So what I do is I send out letters to landlords who've had it probably 15 to 20 years. They kind of track like the rents and all that kind of stuff. And the landlord's like, hey, you want to buy my rental, right? So that's kind of what we did. We started doing it. Uh, we send out 10,000 a month now. And we've grown that over time. Yeah, I see your face. uh,
Wow.
I'm not telling anyone to do that. Repeat, Andrew, you hear me? I'm not telling anyone to send out 10,000 a month. This has been growing over 5 years, right? So we started off slow. We've built it up to that thing. Anything you do, you start off small, you test it, and you build it up, right? But the mailers produce listings for us now, but it also lets us buy properties. And we do. I have a construction company, so we end up rehabbing some of these and then listing them as well. So we have multiple facets going on with it. But anything you do, you start small and you test it out and make sure it makes sense for you. I'm a big numbers guy, so I track the numbers, I track our ROI, I'm tracking what's going on.
Quick question, Kev.
Yeah.
You said that you track the ROI for those mailers, and that's really cool that you're up to 10K. Just curious if you just had to throw a ballpark number out there at this point now that you're 5 years in and 10K mailers a month, what would you say the percent of your ROI is on that?
So I have multiple businesses besides the rentals. So we have like it's Kevin Toll Group LLC, which tracks just the buy and sell and rentals. And then we have what's called Keys Properties, which is like rehabs and other stuff we do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it produces commissions, some of it produces other stuff. But we have like a 4.5x off that.
That can't, 1X is good, so that's good.
Yeah.
Are you going to show that last page again with your contact info?
I can try to do it. Give me a
Mhm.
second. There's other questions. Let's say, I, Martin, I do not do mass text. It goes through all my email. It goes through my CRM system. Are you talking about texting, just like blanket texting a whole bunch of people, or just people in your database?
I was referring to the holidays that you text people and their birthdays. Do you just do manually to your top 100?
No, no. So in our CRM system, if we like, we'll spread it out throughout the course of the month, and we just say Happy Holidays. We have it pre-programmed. So it like Sierra Interactive, we pay for texting in it, so it would send out a whole bunch of it will just send out the text message. So if you put like 1,000 people in on Monday on whatever October 1st, it will say Happy Holidays or whatever it is. So it's all kind of like slowly built out as we're doing it. So the birthdays, Meg tries to go a week before. Hey, we're hoping we're the first to wish you happy birthday. You're going to be inundated on your birthday, so hopefully you have a good one, right? I hope to make it a videos the next couple of years, but slowly we build out each step of what we want to make it more personalized,
Mm.
Thank you.
right?
Depending on the text message too, like our CRM system allows us to tag photos to it. So depending on the message, we might send out a personalized photo too, depending upon the text message or the holiday that we're sending out. Just because a lot of people, like Kev said earlier, follow what our family is in our newsletter. It's just another way to get in front of some people who don't open the newsletter because they get the text message straight to their phone.
All right, thank you. That everyone see that? It's back up. Yeah. Yeah, so everything we built out's been over time, right? Like, and for a while there, everyone would do mass texting. There's programs out there, all that kind of stuff, but it comes from a different number. So Sierra has dedicated numbers for us, and then we had to train our clients, people. This is our work number, that's what we call it, right? So now everything comes from that. So like it's a slow process. So like, listen, you get so busy at doing everything, we didn't ask for, you know. I don't know, like their wedding anniversary or their certain birthdays, because people come and go sometimes quickly. So now what we're doing is slowly going through and asking update the contact information and just trying to be personal about it, moving forward. And so we find out, Meg's birthday is in March, right? We try to make it a week or two before and say happy birthday. I hope you enjoyed. They don't want to hear from us on their birthday, right? Kids, spouses, whatever, family, whatever they're doing, they don't care about us that day, and it gets kind of drowned out anyway. So if you do it early, eh, for early, not late, right? But you do it early. You just say, I wish it's great, right? And so thanks, man, and that's all you get, right? And we don't go back and forth. We don't try to pepper back and forth more communication. It's just as long as they know we exist. So the database is really just being there, and there's a couple times a year we say, "Do you really need anything from us? Or are you looking to buy?" So they really know that we're in this business, right? I mean, 20 years in, and I don't know, one, two, like 5 offices I've opened up. People don't always keep track of what's going on. Did I miss anyone's questions? I was trying to go through it all.
Kevin, I'm not sure if you mentioned this. Do you do any client appreciation events? Just curious.
We have in the past. I think kids have gotten away in the future. They've gone good, they've gone bad, right? I had a 6-year event. I had like 200 people, and all around the place. That was a crazy night. We've had a movie night. We help some of our teammates that want to do it. We try to like sponsor and do the stuff. So it just depends. Uh, we probably will get back to it. We have Atticus as 3, pushing 4 next April. So life will maybe become a little more manageable right then, right?
Right.
And to be honest, everyone does it a little differently. I talk to, so some people will do it if they only give me a referral in the year. Some people just do it with their close people. So it just depends. And then you have to watch your budget, but you have to make sure that you're acknowledging them, and you know you're happy that they're there, right? And then hopefully you get more business from them. But I have Mike Jacobs. I don't think he's on this call. I think he has a appointment right now. On my team has it every year, and it actually did affect his business because everyone's waiting for his holiday party. He had stuff going on this year that he couldn't do it, but we're going to make sure he doesn't again next year, right? So some people it's perfect point. They have it organized. People are waiting, right? So, so
Thank
I,
you.
I mean, I've watched you come up from a new agent, so I would probably recommend it, right? And organize your list. How organized are you with your data?
Mm,
Yep.
it's like that's exactly what I tell the first. Like kind of organized on. I use Command, but it's really my Excel sheet that I like use every day for like my notes. And I'm just like, I just need to make it a habit to actually use the CRM that I have, because being on a team, then not being on a team, I changed CRMs, so now I just need to stick with one and actually use it. But that's where it's rough. But when I have a mailer or, my Eagles magnet, whatever have you, it gets me, all right, now we're organizing it. It's the forever to do that I've put off for years. So joke's on me.
I mean, every agent getting into it, every agent is always trying to backtrack or make them organized. It's just put the time into it. Like the tip is spend that hour a day. Like you're running your own business, right? Everyone probably makes great money. Spend an hour or two a day. Keep going at it, right? Just constantly. That's why, like, when you hear me talking, we don't have people's birthdays. We don't have a lot of information. So now we're just making it relevant conversations. Hey, we're just trying to update our contacts. That's literally what we're doing. We're updating our contacts right now. When's your birthday? When's this? When are you looking to move? Just stuff we need, right? To move the business forward. So it's always that game of making it organized or am I running around, right? So
Yeah.
just slowly hack at it every day. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. And that's one thing, and that's a good point. That's one thing people do a lot is have client events. We just haven't managed it correctly. And so we don't even have it on there for that reason. And then, 3 kids and just hasn't happened, right? Just that's all it
I
is.
have no kids. I can't even imagine having a job and doing that. So I commend you. You're doing
I,
just fine.
I mean, a lot of people do it, and I talk to agents around the country who do it all the time. And I have like friends down in Delaware and a different brokerage that just had a huge one. I saw it, and so I'm not saying it's not bad. I think it is good. It's just we just haven't got there, and it's not happening in the next 2 years. I already know that, right? So it's just not on our list. That's why we keep it simple. Like we just talk to them and send out cards and be there and keep pushing forward. But our business is slowing down. Actually, we're busier than we ever have been, right? Like the calls and everything's going on. Yeah. Any other questions before we all jump? I am always around. I used to be a coach in real estate. If you have questions, need help, just reach out. Send me to either call me or email me. Text messages, I'll be buried with them. So I'm not a fan of text messages. So I like to be communicated with phone calls or emails. I will get off this call and probably have 18 text messages I have to go through. So if you need help or want my opinion, please do one of those two. All right. Thanks for everyone showing up. Next time we'll be in the office.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Everyone have a good one.
Everybody.
Bye all.